Just for a second, the federal government estimates that hundreds of thousands of sexual assault forensic kits are sitting untested years later on police and crime lab shelves all over the country.
And sometimes those kits are not tested for DNA if the victim chooses not to pursue charges or there isn't a dispute that sexual activity took place.
But as we discovered in this Fox 10 News special report, some rape cases may not be pursued simply because they happened so long ago.
Here's Andrew Perez.
That's right. The Rape Crisis Center in Mobile tells me they saw 158 rape survivors at the hospital and received more than 230 crisis calls between Mobile, Clark, and Washington counties just last year. In many of those cases, these rape kits are crucial. After weeks of back and forth with local law enforcement, we found some remain untested years later. Every 2 minutes, someone is sexually assaulted in the U.S. According to RAINN, the nation's largest anti-sexual violence organization, more than 54% of assaults are never even reported to police.
It can happen to anybody. Rape can happen to anybody. I have seen all walks of life.
For more than a decade now, Arlene Kays has been part of the SANE, or Sexual Assault Nurse Examiners program at USA Medical Center. Part of her job is looking for evidence of sexual assault, collecting what's better known today as a rape kit.
I think the oldest elderly patient I've personally taken care of is an 85-year-old lady. And, you know, they've lived a long life, and you'd think, and they would think that they've probably seen the worst.
It's one of the reasons she does what she does. The DNA evidence collected in a rape kit can catch even a stranger rapist. The victim chooses how or when to move forward.
This is a big decision to decide, do I want to move forward with this and report or not? It's probably the most important decision a sexual assault survivor makes.
We decide if we need to scrape fingernails, swab, different areas of the body, and then, I leave it to law enforcement and the district attorney's office to determine, what happens after that.
It's during that handoff, though, that we found thousands of cases across the country where rape kits are sitting untested for DNA at police departments and crime labs years later. In San Antonio, Texas, officials found 2,000 of them collecting dust in storage, more than 11,000 untested rape kits in Detroit, 10,000 in Memphis, and so on. In Mobile,
I don't know that number.
We found the port city joins a long list of other cities, including Birmingham and Atlanta, that are unsure just how many untested rape kits are still in evidence.
There's going to be kits that are going to be in our possession that have never been tested for a number of reasons. One, maybe technology wasn't available at the time, or we completely lost contact with the victim.
Our investigation uncovered that Mobile police currently have about 1,200 rape kits in storage, tested and untested. The oldest case is from 1978. The way it works is if a victim chooses to report the rape, law enforcement will pick up their kit from the hospital, and it's often sent straight to the Alabama Department of Forensic Sciences for testing. A perpetrator's DNA is put into what's called CODIS, the FBI's database, and it's compared to hundreds of thousands of DNA samples from people who've been in prison. ADFS says it's aided in more than 5,000 previously unsolved investigations, making matches through CODIS.
All the research suggests that a sexual predator will continue throughout the span, so there's a good chance he's offended again or maybe picked up another felony. Law enforcement officials, however, say DNA testing really only picked up in the mid-90s, so questions remain about rape kits before that time. Now, the Mobile Police Department says it holds on to these rape kits indefinitely because there is no statute of limitations in Alabama. Sometimes a victim will choose not to pursue charges, so the kit won't be tested, but it'll be stored with the others. Status unknown. National advocate groups say police departments across the country need to do a better job keeping track of these kits and send the old ones for DNA testing as well.
When I ask a jurisdiction, how many untested kits they have in their storage facilities, they usually their first response is they don't know. and they're not too keen on figuring it out just because I requested it. It's often not necessarily a priority to know.
For many agencies, it's an issue of manpower and money. Mobile police tell Fox 10 News they would have to dig through each sexual assault case in their property room, which we were not allowed in. Just days before our story was to air, police called to say that there was an initiative to review the cases, adding that eventually all rape kits that needed to be tested would be. We checked with the Mobile County Sheriff's Office as well, who took us in to check it out. They said they had no backlog. As for the Alabama Department of Forensic Sciences, the Mobile Regional Office says it has less than 40 sexual assault cases that are awaiting testing. Each of these kits represents a person, each kit representing a survivor whose attacker may still be out there.
Do you kind of just think that all kids just across the board just need to be tested?
Oh, absolutely. I mean, that's why I'm doing them.
Take those kits and test them. If someone is a rapist, they're not going to stop with one victim.
All we know about the backlog in this country is because of either human rights researchers or advocates or journalists like yourself.
We're going to take them serious when they report it to us because it is very, very important to us.
Now, we found a lot of federal money out there to help deal with any backlog issues, but the problem is it needs to be identified first. Despite the issue, Mobile does have a very active sexual assault response team with groups like Rape Crisis on their side. We're working with organizations right now to get a better handle on the caseloads in our area. In the meantime, though, we want to hear what you have to say about the issue. You can check out our website for more information and then email me, andrew.perez@fox10tv.com.
Well, there's been a sudden change in leadership